Alright, I'm just cleaning up this canoe. The next door neighbor of one of my scouts donated it to us. It's been in their alleyway for like 10 or 15 years. You can see it's pretty dirty. It was really nasty actually. It's rotted out on the inside, but in general, okay, now I can see like some spider webs on the hull and stuff, but those spider web cracks are supposed to be relatively benign depending on what they are. The gunnels are perfect, aluminum, strong aluminum gunnels. We'll get a better look at this hull once I get it cleaned up. The seats and the thwart on the other on the inside are all rotted out. We'll take a good look at that spider web there, but it looks like it should be okay. I got to get this all washed up, and then we'll get a good look at the hull and evaluate it. Based on the seats and the thwarts, I'm guessing it'll cost me $100 to $150 to fix it up, and it'll be a good canoe with a paint job and stuff like that. The hull seems, seems in really good condition, so we'll see how it goes as we get along. Well, it cleaned up pretty good. You can see it has on both sides free Gaza. The woman kept saying over and over again that I had to give it a paint job, and I know why. But it needed one anyway. Yeah, the hull looks really good. There's this one little spider web there. Look at the inside of that. The inside is a little bit nasty. You'll see cobwebby and stuff. The seat's got to be replaced. The thwart is rotted right out. But in general, that hull on the inside looks pretty good. Even where that spider web is, there's no noticeable impact or anything on the inside. So I believe this is going to clean up really well. The thing I'm concerned about is some of these rivet points where the gunnels are riveted onto the hull. Some of the rivet points, only 2 or 3 of them seem kind of weak, so they might need some fiberglass epoxy patch work on them. And the seats are riveted on too, so this looks like there's a potential issue there, that the rivet is slipping through or something like that. So once we get the seats off, we'll have to give it a good looking over. But yeah, this is going to be something hopefully that I'll get finished before the end of the summer, so that we can use it with some scouts canoeing in the fall, and maybe even I'll get to take it out for a maiden voyage over the course of the summer. It's I forgot to mention, it's a Foster and Brochu. Foster and Brochu, Grand Mare, Quebec. I looked it up. They were in business from 1973 to 1999. Yeah, it's cleaning up well so far. We'll see how it goes. Alright, we're just going to take a better look at the inside here. As I mentioned, the thwart is all rotted out, but this part is pretty sturdy. That's aluminum attached to the gunnel. And it looks like we'll be able to attach a new thwart there pretty easily. Same over here. The seats are actually, that seat is kind of sturdy. I'm going to take the material off and see what I've got underneath there. That one's pretty sturdy too, so I don't know, it may not be terribly well rotted, but might just have to be replaced anyway. We'll pull that material off and see. Alright, the seats are just cheap plywood, and it isn't terribly rotted out, to be honest, but I do want to take the seats right off in order to have a look at the seat mounts, because those are the parts that are of concern. As I mentioned, some of these rivets are, some of the seat mount rivets are showing some signs that they need some work. So I'm going to just unmount the seats, and that's kind of a cheap seat. I want to get some kind of a better seat on there. I don't know what yet, but I'll figure that out. Well, as one might expect, these are pretty rusty. I've got a vice grip holding the nut on the other end. You can see the first one I did, the nut actually sheared off after giving it a couple of attempts to turn. So that one's loose now. This one is not shearing, it's stripping. I may have to get my Dremel out, and I'll have a go at these two now and see what I can do with those without using a Dremel. Alright, so the seat mounts are not aluminum, unfortunately. This metal is pretty rusty, although it does still appear to have its strength to it. I think it might be prudent, however, to come up with a different mount. Most of the rivets, the 3 rivets in this guy, are holding. This one here is not so good. The other 2 are holding on this mount. So really what has to be done is those mounts have to be taken off, a new mount system devised, and then rivet it back on in a watertight fashion. So I didn't have a look at the other seat yet, but I'm sure it's going to be in similar condition. So this gives me a pretty good idea now what I'm dealing with. The only thing left to do is to go around and visit every single rivet on the that's holding the gunnel to the hull, and just check it out from the inside and the outside. Go to everyone and see what kind of condition it's in. It could possibly be the case that I should take the gunnel right off and prep it all up again and put it back on, but that's a far bigger project than I really want to deal with because I'm new at this. There's one there that's not looking, yeah, that's definitely not so great. It just came right off. So we're gonna have to go around and look at all of these rivets and see how they're doing. Maybe it is the case that I'm gonna have to take them all off and re-rivet it. We'll see.